From the EPAWA headquarters in South Allentown, Pennsylvania, it's time for WeatherWise, an informative video of the ins and outs of weather that affect you most in the EPAWA coverage area. The following segment is a weekly video blog, and the opinions of the forecaster do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff of Eastern PA Weather Authority, LLC as a whole, nor its constituents. Without further ado, here is meteorologist Bobby Martrich with WeatherWise.
Hey, good Sunday morning to everybody. We're going to have a pretty good video segment today. We're going to recap last Thursday where we had the first snow of the season for some. Kind of go into the pattern. We usually do the pattern last. We're going to go into the pattern first because I want to give you an idea of what we're heading into. And then, believe it or not, we're actually going to be getting colder before we get warmer. And we'll discuss that. And then we're going to go into the Sunday night Monday system, which everybody's been talking about for quite some time. That is disappointing some snow lovers, actually, because they latched on an idea too early. But we'll get into that. Let's start off with the snow totals from Thursday, and this is looking at not a lot of snow here, but this was just enough to coat the ground in many places and also give some minor accumulations of an inch or two, depending on where you were. These individual snow totals here mark where the spotter reports were, and you can see you had some accumulations all the way into western New Jersey, especially across northern New Jersey. That's where we got into some of that banding. But this is definitely it's not an abnormal thing for November. I don't expect much in the way of accumulations in November, but this definitely for some was the first snow of the season, and did in fact accumulate in some areas. So that's out of the way. Now we're going to get into Tuesday. Now this is going to be a very cold blast coming in, and this is looking up at the upper air patterns. This is 500 millibars, and you can see these greens here. These are well below normal here. So we're going to have some seriously cold air with a big trough here in the east here, and these greens sitting right over top of us would indicate that we're going to be pretty darn cold. And this, of course, is after our system on Sunday night and Monday moves through. We're going to have temperatures drop, and we're going to have the winds pick up. It's going to be quite windy, and looks like it's going to be a short-lived blast of cold as far as I know we're already below normal now, but I'm talking about when it gets really cold. And how cold are we talking? Here's what it translates to on the ground here. This is your 32-degree line. I'm going to draw it here. There's Baltimore, Washington area. So just northwest of Baltimore, Washington, coming up here like this to Philadelphia, and then up into about New York City, and then right along the coast. This is all 32 degrees, 33, 34. This is all 30 or below. This is insanely cold for this time of year. We're talking about normal temperatures this time of year, for the most part being in the low to mid 50s from north to south, so this is very cold. These are high temperatures. These are not wind chills. These are not low temperatures. We're talking about high temperatures on Tuesday. So Tuesday will definitely be feeling like winter. I used an analogy on one of our Facebook posts. I'm not sure if it was publicly or in our private channel that we do. But we have a normal high taking Allentown, Pennsylvania. This is where I live right here. Normal high in Allentown, Pennsylvania in the dead of winter in January is 36 degrees from a good portion of the month of January. So, and that's the lowest it gets for an average high all year. And we're talking about temperatures below freezing, stuck in the 20s maybe 20, upper 20s to near 30 degrees for a high. So this is very cold for any time of year, let alone November. Okay, we're going to go to the next frame here because I want to talk about the winds. Now, this is what's going to make it feel so raw on Tuesday. It's one thing to have temperatures that are stuck in the 20s. You might be able to deal with that if the sun's out and the wind's calm, but we're talking about some very nasty northwest winds, west-northwest winds going to be rushing in here. We're talking about sustained winds, 15 to 25 miles per hour on Tuesday. We're going to have higher gusts than that, so your wind chills are going to be in the teens and maybe even some places single digits. So this is not going to be fun on Tuesday. This is not the day. If you want to go out and do something outdoors, Tuesday is not the day to do it. Wednesday, we're going to remain cold air temperature, I think, but the winds slack down a little bit. So better the 2 days, if you had to pick one, would be Wednesday. Tuesday's just going to be brutal. Absolutely brutal. And then we get into the next frame here. I want to talk about the long range here. We're going to get moderating again. This is beyond Wednesday. Wednesday still remains cold. We're going to have moderation here, but here you see all your cold air is stuck up here now. This is actually a look at Saturday. And we're getting into more of a zonal flow. Zonal meaning west to east. So whenever you have a zonal flow, generally a west to east direction here where you don't have the amplification of the jet stream, we're talking about temperatures that are going to be near normal. So this is not a surprise to us. We actually put out our long-range outlook, and this is by meteorologist Mike DeFino, and we outlined the areas that were going to be cold here. We had above average from the 4th to the 7th, and then we had this below average period that went to about the 20th, and this is going to be spot on here. And you wonder why we haven't updated the long range. Well, we really don't need to. I mean, we did this in the beginning of the month here, and everything's kind of following along with what we thought it was going to be, where we had between the 8th and the 20th below average. That is in fact happening, and it is going to stay like that up until about the 20th. Then we're going to break and get into near average temperatures. But it's not a big warm up. When we talk about warm up, we're not talking about going all the way up and back into 60s again. It's going to be above normal. We're talking about temperatures getting back to near average. So again, near average for this time of year is in the 50 to 55 range from north to south. And, that's going to continue to drop as we head into December. But, near average, this is not cold. This is not warm temperatures. So don't expect, you might have a few days, a day or two that goes above average and then, a few below average. But the average in this period from the 21st to 30th toward the end of the month, we're expecting to be near average. And that's what is being shown right now as we get in this time frame here. See that this is the date of this image is Saturday the 22nd, and we're already in this zonal west-east flow, and you see the temperatures in the long range are responding with temperatures that are getting up close to 50 degrees for a high, something like that. So nothing really too impressive. Now I do want to get into this Sunday night Monday storm here, because there's again, this is I hate to use these case in points every week, but when you look at something in the long range, here's a look at the Sunday night Monday storm as it looked way back on November 8th. And of course you have everybody getting excited. Oh, there's a big snowstorm coming. You got this low pressure heading off the Delmarva, going to continue up here and give us a nice snowstorm in here. Yes, it did say that, and this was mainly northwest of I-95 storm. The evolution of the storm actually on this one, this was at 216 hours out. But the evolution of the storm was not really that far off. But when you get into details that far out, it is an effort and futility. I mean, you really are doing yourself a discredit. So whenever we get these questions on the Facebook page or what have you, Twitter, people asking about, hey, I saw a big storm in about 10 days. Well, there's no sense in paying attention to that. The only thing you're looking at this point is for a storm signal at that point, that there could be a storm. But to sit here and say, okay, well, it's going to be rain, snow, or in my area, I mean, you're really doing yourself a disservice by doing that. You're going to drive yourself nuts, because the evolution of the storm was completely different as far as what the precipitation type is going to be. It's a lot warmer as we get closer. This is a look at the latest GFS, and this is looking at early Monday morning, late Sunday night, early Monday morning. See these pinks here? These pinks here are indicating a mixture of snow, sleet, freezing rain, and that will happen late Sunday night and early Monday. But you can see, the old image here, big difference between from what we were in the previous image here, what the projection was, with all this being snow northwest of I-95, and now the actual. You got really the snow is way back here in northwest PA at this point, and you have just a mixture of snow, sleet, freezing rain here up in this pink area, but everywhere else is rain. You see what I mean? So, I mean, for to sit here and say that something this far out and look at it and go, oh, wow, we're getting a big snowstorm, you're really, it's really no sense in doing that. So you wonder why we're not talking about it that far out. There's just no point, because it's going to change. And once the models come into agreement, obviously when they come into agreement and collaboration, which they have been doing all week, we were able to put some call maps out. But, hey, you guys can latch on to whatever you want. That's fine. But as a forecast agency, we have to be responsible about this. And we're not going to do what some of these, even some major outlets do to promote ratings. I could have sat here and done this too and say, oh, big snowstorm coming. Then we look like idiots. I mean, the bottom line is you look like an idiot when it doesn't pan out, and then you lose trust. So we don't get into that business. I mean, there's no sense in looking at ratings. So here's a look at Sunday night, early Monday. On the next frame here, this is Monday afternoon, the period between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Monday, and you can see we are all in the green here. So this is all changing over to rain at some point, and it's not looking like it's going to be a chilly rain. So it's not going to be a nice day here on Monday either, for a different reason, just because you're going to be stuck in the rain and everything. But by the time you get to Monday evening, the models are still suggesting that as these winds start kicking in here, you see these isobars here again, tight isobars, winds start kicking in from the northwest. Once this cold air rushes in, if there's just enough precipitation left over at the end here, you might have a few flakes at the end. I'm not looking at accumulations coming out of this. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets a dusting out of it because you get a heavy burst of snow at the end once it changes over. Rarely when you have a system cutting in like this, and first of all, the old GFS a week ago was saying it was going to come out like this, far enough offshore so you still have the cold air locked in. Instead, it's taking a path more like this. And so when it cuts in like this, you're not going to get these heavy snows until you get very far inland, and that's what's going on here. But you could have this cold air rushing in here at the very end here, and you could have some flakes changing over at the end. I'm not expecting accumulations from that. Again, I wouldn't be surprised, especially across the colder areas of northeast PA, that you do get a changeover at the very end, but I don't really think it amounts to much. And rarely do the back-end accumulations idea work out. But it was indicated on the GFS, was indicated on the European model. You might have some flakes at the end, so we will allow for that. And here is our call map for Sunday night, Monday. And you can see plain rain start to finish all the way in the green here. This area of light green in here is basically the same thing, rain, but we might have a little bit touch of sleet, maybe some snowflakes at the very beginning. It's going to be very brief. And I'm talking about 2-3 hours or less. And it's not going to stick or anything. We're just talking about sleet falling or whatever, and then it changes over to rain. The majority of the storm is rain. Again, you might have those tail flakes at the end, but odds are you miss that too, except if you get further west out here, out by Harrisburg, Chambersburg, Cumberland County, places like that will have the best chance, more so than say Allentown and points east. But up here in the Poconos, all the way back to Williamsport State College, we're looking at snow and sleet changing to freezing rain, and this will be in the very early hours of Monday morning, and then plain rain. So we can get up to 1 inch of snow and sleet mixture, and up to 2 inches up on the higher elevations here before it changes over. And these will be very high elevations. We're talking about if you're going to get 2 inches, you're going to have to be up about 1,500 feet. And then so that's what we're talking about, higher elevations. And then up to 0.2 of an inch of ice accrual that could happen. This is going to be, we say up to 0.2 of an inch. I don't think it's going to be really that much of ice. I think you're going to warm up here pretty quickly as we get into Monday morning. So you might have some delays up here, some winter weather visors going up in these areas, and for good reason. And then I think your bigger accumulations are going to be far northwest of our coverage area here. This would be 1 to 3 inches of snow and sleet, and again, changing to plain rain here as well. So again, it's not a for most areas, it's not going to be a wintry scene. Looks like at the onset you might have some snow sleet mixing or something in the beginning down here, and then maybe a prolonged period of it up here overnight Sunday night. But I think again in Monday morning you're changing over to rain here as well. So not a big deal for the system. We will have to watch areas of the north here, though, for maybe some delays and things like that up here in the morning. Just if you do have any freezing rain, check the temperature in the morning, see what it's doing. It might look like it's raining, but it could be still freezing rain in some spots here. So check the temperature when you get up. Check for any delays in this area, and make sure the roads are okay before you venture out. Just think, oh, it's just raining, it's no big deal. It might be below freezing in some areas here. Just watch that. Of course, the best chance for that to accrue would be trees, power lines. That's what we're worried about here for any outages or anything like that. So again, not too much in the way of ice department, but just be careful and aware of that just in case. Of course, our My Pocket Meteorologist program, we now have winter season only options available, so please do take advantage of that. You can look at that. Look for this banner right below this video here. It'll take you to the seasonal options, and you can get information sent to you specifically for your county, including timing, amounts of amounts of snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain expected for your area. So we did a pretty good job with that last night, sending that out to our customers, and again on Friday night. And you could wait till everybody's like, well, you can release this information publicly. Well, we do, but not in advance. If you look at our latest second call map, if you went on here, there's no timing with this. There's no individual. You have to find your county and things like that. There's no timing or anything. We don't release that until we do the final call. So if you can wait for it to the last minute, that's fine. But what this program does is gives it to you well in advance. So this is several days in advance. It'll give you the warning, so you can figure out how much you're going to get for your county already. And people that subscribe to this program love it because they already have the timing, and they don't have to wait until this evening until we put something out for a final call. So that's the advantage of having this. And this is, of course, thousands of people use this. So this is a very good program, and we can set it out as coming from a meteorologist, not a computer. So if you did take advantage of this last year, you can use the winter season only option, so it's a one-time charge instead of doing a monthly charge or yearly or anything like that. Please do check that out. Again, that's the banner below this video. That's your edition of Weatherwise for this week for Sunday, November 16th, 2014. I hope you have a great week. Take care.